The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. The awesomely titled, Welcome to the new Nadex platform. Are you ready? Today is July 29th, and I am Adam McCaden. For any of you who have not been on any webinars with me before, I've been at Nadex for about 3 years, worked very heavily with a lot of our developers on creating this platform, making sure that it was set up so that all of you could continue to trade in the best way possible. I also work on a lot of the new products here at Nadex, so like a lot of the event contracts and things of that nature that we've put out. I've had a hand in that as well. So that's just a real quick overview of who I am. Today we're going to go through the platform and show how to use the new platform, all the new features. It should be somewhat familiar. It's a lot of the same things you could do on the old platform, but in kind of a new package, and there are some new features as well. So before we really kick off here, oh, there we go. We gotta put this disclaimer up. If you've been on a webinar of ours before, you have probably seen this disclaimer here. I'll give you a second to read it, but basically it's saying, hey, trading on Nadex and really trading anywhere is going to involve risk, and it's not appropriate for everyone. If you are going to trade, remember, use that discretionary income. Do not use, your rent money, your food money. Definitely just use your extra income that you are able to trade, because, if you do put it up there, you are always, the possibility is that you can always lose the money that you are risking. Also, I will be placing a couple trades on the demo account today just to show you functionally how that works. That is not a recommendation to make any of these trades. I can't, as an employee of the exchange, give you guys any trade recommendations or anything like that. So if you were going to ask for those, I apologize in advance. I will also, just to let you guys know, I will be looking at the questions as they come in, and I will try to answer them as they come. I also do have someone else on the line with me, and she will be typing up some of the answers. Her name's Sophie. She's great. So, you're in good hands there. I do see a question coming in already. When will the new platform work with entity accounts? Well, we are going ahead and trying to get that functionality in that is on our radar and is on our backlog right now. There's still a couple more things we have to finish developing, and I will go into that in a little bit more detail later in the presentation. So there's a couple more things that we got to get done before we do that, but it is on our roadmap, and it is on our radar. So hopefully we can get all you entity traders into the new platform as soon as possible. So just really quickly, if you do, have any questions out after this or, during this that I didn't answer, feel free to give our customer service line a ring. A lot of great people can help you with your questions there, or just send in an email. So I'll try to answer questions on the webinar, but, again, if I don't get to them or if you have any after, hit up that email or that phone line. So very quickly before we get into the new, actually go look at the platform. This is going to be the agenda. We're going to go over the layout, going to go through, how to place orders, how to navigate around the platform, how to manage your position, going into the settings, and then lastly, we're going to go over the charts. I usually save the charts for last just because it is probably the most different from our old platform. So I want to spend a good amount of time on that section and showing some of the new features. If you don't use our charts, obviously, it might not be as pertinent to you. But I think I would stick around for it just because there are quite a few new features on the charts that I think make them significantly better than the old platform. So without further ado, I will get over to nadex.com here. So how you access the new platform, and actually give me 1 second because there's another question coming in. So there's a question coming in about the refresh, contracts refreshing. We actually that is on our roadmap as well, to put a little refresh button in. So many of you may notice, as you're trading maybe the 2-hour contracts, if you're in there for many, many hours, you won't be seeing the new contracts unless you refresh your screen. That is on our roadmap. We are aware of this, and we do have plans to put a refresh button into the platform so that you don't have to refresh your entire screen every time. So going back, no problem. So going back in here, so how you actually get to the new platform, you're just gonna go to nadex.com. Now you may notice that this is a little bit of a new site. So the new platform is kind of a part of a larger refresh that we're going through here at Nadex. So we launched this new site, I believe it was June 28th. Then a couple weeks ago on July 12th, we switched over so that now that this new platform is the default platform. You still can get to the old platform, and I'll show you that as well. And then around November time, just to kind of round out this roadmap I'm giving you guys, around November time, we will be going ahead and taking away access to the old platform. We will not do that before we get all the features into the new platform that you need to trade. So don't worry about that, but eventually we will be taking away access to that old platform. So jumping into the actual platform here. So getting into the platform here, you just, like I said, you go to nadex.com, go to log in. It's going to take you to the screen, and just the same way you usually get in here, same password, same usernames as you would have used on the old one, obviously. All right, and now we see our new beautiful platform here. So it will look quite different if you are used to the old one. The layout's a bit different here. So I will go over, first we're just gonna go over how do you actually find the contracts that you trade. So gonna be same contracts here that you can actually go ahead and find. We have your binary options, call spreads, and knockouts on the top left here. So this is how you're gonna navigate through the different product classes. And then the market classes, once you select your preferred product, are going to be below. So let's say, for example, we want to trade a Forex binary option. You just click there, and now you can scroll down and you see all the different markets, all the different assets, and the different expiration times for those. So let's just scroll down, picking one at random. Dollar CAD looks good right now, and we'll do the 11 p.m. expiration. And now as you scroll down, you can see all your strike prices as well. Actually, let's get into a 2-hour, just give us a little bit more options with these strike prices here. So to actually bring up a ticket, to bring up a chart, you can click either directly on the strike price here, or you can click on the actual contract price. And clicking on the actual contract price is going to populate your ticket, as you can see, with the buy or sell side, depending on which one you are clicking, obviously. So going in here, obviously now you can see my my awesome ticket is up. And if I wanted to do a contract, I can go buy, I can go sell. I have my market or my limit order, so I can change my order type here on the ticket. And then, if I have a limit, I can change my price. Market obviously is going to try to get you the best available market price, and you can change the size as well here. So, hey, let's get in. Let's say I want 5 positions on this dollar yen contract greater than 104.90 at 2 p.m. I can click place order, and that's going to show up down here in my positions panel. You can see it show up here in the positions panel. You can also, those of you that use our old charts, you will also notice that it shows up on the chart as well, similar to those old charting functions. I am going to go more into the charts, but real quick, I'll show you some of the new kind of user interface that we've built for these charts. So you can see as I click the strike lines here, it's going to shade above for buy and below for sell, just kind of giving you a visual representation of the line that you need to be either greater than or less than at expiration of the contract, depending on if you have chosen the buy side or the sell side of that contract. Going over to the call spreads very quickly, I just want to show you some of the new kind of visualization we built on the charts here. So now you can see the ranges of the call spreads on the chart itself, and as you click blue or red, you will see that it changes, buy or sell, you'll see it changes blue or red there, again, giving you that visual representation. And with the knockouts, let's round it out here. It's a little bit different visualizing as well. Let me change that so you can see the actual lines. So these are gonna be your ranges with the knockouts, and you can select this side over here and then go buy or sell to navigate through that. So that's going to be, and I am going to go back into more detail on the charts, but that is the very basic sort of new interface we've put over the charts just to make it a little bit easier to track your positions. Let's focus down here for a little bit for a second. So we have my currently open position. So I got into that dollar yen contract. It's a binary option, obviously. It shows the current indicative, the expiration, this time left. Obviously, this +5 means I have 5 on the buy side. and my average price that I paid for the contract, A375, and the current price at 75 or 76 bucks right now. The P&L, and this is always something that I like to bring up, even though it's not, particular to the new platform. Always remember that this P&L is not going to be necessarily what your profit or loss will be at expiration of the contract. It is strictly what your profit and loss will be if you sell out of that contract right now, or you exit your position right now. And you could see that it's actually going to be the difference between the price I paid for the contract and the current one, multiplied by the number of positions I have, right? So this minus this times this, that's going to get you the box right here. So just a little bit explanation of how those numbers work, and it's always good to remember that, again, it is the profit or loss when you if you get out now, not necessarily at expiration. Let's bring up a call spread here, and I'll show you some working orders. So let's say I don't want to pay 1280, I want to pay 1285. Oh, there. Oh, couldn't read that for a second. Say I want to pay 12,823. Oops, that is the wrong direction. Sometimes I mess this up. Sorry about that. Let's do 12,780. And I could place that, and that's going to put my working order in there as well. So you can see here also on the position, I have my open position shown on the chart, and I also have my working order showing there. My working order is also showing here in the orders panel, and you can see the type. It's going to tell you the call spread, going to tell you all the details, just like on the open positions panel, and it's going to tell you, the amount you are still out there working. So I have one buy side contract out there working, and then the number that are filled. Currently 0 have been filled, but if this market doesn't get down to, on the buy side, my price that I put of I can't even remember where 12,780, it's right there. If it gets down to that point, it will go ahead and fill that, give me a fill on that contract. All right, and then so this is going to be where you're going to see your history right now as well. So this 24-hour history, this is going to be an order history, not a transaction history. For those of you familiar with the old platform, it is going to show all the orders. So most lines will have your order sent and then order filled. As of right now, and I know this is a question that comes up fairly often, as of right now, this is going to be the only place you see your history on this new platform. It is just the 24-hour history, and it is just an order history, not necessarily a transaction. So you're going to see like those double lines basically saying canceled, sent, filled. We are, that's a good question, getting this question in already. So how can we enlarge this history? How can we see more history? So this is one of those features. It's one of the last features actually that we're still working on bringing over from the old platform. Right now, there isn't a great way to see anything other than your 24-hour order history on the new platform. However, we are working on bringing this over, and it should be over fairly soon. And we are trying. I think I've seen some of the designs. I think they're quite good and a bit better, a bit easier to read than they were on that old platform. For the time being, if you do want to see what is going on with your contract, what's going on with your history, you are going to want to go to the old platform to actually see that. And really quick, I'll show you how to get back over there. So on the top right of my screen, I have this big open old platform button. I can click that. That's going to get me back to the login page. Also, if I go to my account and I try to say, oh, here, I have my history and my statement, so it's coming soon. If I actually click on that, it's going to say, hey, we're working on it, just kind of like what I just told you, but you can click on that to go to the old platform as well. It's going to take you to this login page, and you can log in here. And now I can actually go see my full order history. So I order and transaction history. I am aware, obviously, that this is not an ideal situation right now. We are working on getting that over, so it should be over here fairly soon. And like I said, I think it's a good bit better than this transaction history. But for the time being, you're going to want to come over here to see your history, and you're going to, you're going to want to go up. If you want your transaction, and let's say I want to see the last 30 days, I can view my history there. So for the time being, this is going to be the best way to see it, but again, it is coming, and we are aware that that's obviously something that needs to come over. So now going back again to that new platform, and you can see I just click that button. It's going to throw me right back over here. I have to log in again. Oops. I liked Nadex. No, I like Nadex. Oh, looks like I just typed in everything wrong here. Oh, that's why. My number locks off. There we go. Okay. All right, so now we are back in the platform here. So we've gone over sort of how to find your contract. We've gone over the orders, the positions, and the history as they are currently in the contract, how to manage those. And just very quickly, I'll go over one more thing. So this should be familiar to many of you that trade on the old platform. If you do want to quickly exit your position, excuse me, if you want to quickly exit your position, you can always click on your open positions down here in the bottom in this position panel. And it's sort of smart in the way that it's going to populate the order ticket that pops up in the opposite direction and the same size as your current position, right? So I have 5 contracts right now. It's 5 on a buy side. If I click on this, it's going to take me right here, already populated for 5 on the sell side, right? So it's smart, that knows kind of that I want to get out of this contract. And so if it's set up so that it already has this brings this up and allows me to get out quickly. If I click this now, there we go. I just exited the contract. Took a little bit of a loss there, but this is a demo account, so I'm not too sad about that today. But that is always something to remember. So remember, clicking on this, that's going to actually bring up your position, and it's going to populate it in a way that allows you to get out quickly. Similarly, if you do want to modify your working orders, how you're going to do that is you go over to your working order panel. You click here, and now you can see that this is my working order. I can either delete this order or I can amend it. Let's say I don't want to wait for it to hit 12,780. I want to, maybe 12,781. I can amend that order, and now it's switched the price that I want, right? So clicking here is going to be how you amend or delete that order. And if you click on your open position, it's going to try to populate you with a deal ticket that will get you out of that position. Just a little bit of an extra tip there to help you quickly get in and out. So moving on here, let's quickly go over the settings and the new My Account panel, right? So if we click, we'll start with the settings. So we have the settings down here in the bottom left-hand corner. Now you can see, actually, we just added something new here. I'll go over the new bit first, and that is we added this live chat button into the platform. So live chat has been another sort of our larger refresh of Nadex and who we are. We have introduced live chat as well, just to help you kind of talk to us and get more up with modern times in offering that sort of customer service over a live chat. If you do want to call us, email us, still feel free to do that. But if you would like to chat with us, you can hit this button in the platform. Currently, what that's going to do is that's going to pop you out here, and it's going to say, you can start a live chat, and you can click this to chat with an expert. You will have to put in your information, so basically so that they can pull up your account a little bit easier, and then that's going to start a chat with our customer service team. Hopefully in the future, we actually have this live chat within the platform itself, but currently just the easier solution was to do it this way, and we will be developing it. So basically you can look at that inside the platform. Going on, you also see this feedback box down here. I will very quickly go over this, but basically we gave this, we thought this was so important, we gave it its own little area because we are building this platform for you to make this the best experience for all you guys as traders. So if you have feedback for us, if there's something that you really don't like, if there's something that you are having trouble using the platform, definitely tell us, and we will try to get it into the platform. Actually, a lot of what we have developed was because of throughout the beta, people were leaving their feedback in that section, and there are a couple of things on the platform already that we have developed basically just because of that feedback. Because I got a lot of feedback saying that we needed that. One of those things actually is the tear-off ticket and tear-off charts, which I just realized I didn't really go over. So I will go over that very quickly before I move on to the settings. The tear-off charts and tear-off tickets, again, this is one thing that we were very heavily requested for on the feedback sections. So I do actually, we have a team here that actually reads that, so that people were asking for basically multiple charts, multiple tickets. How do I set this up so I can trade a little bit easier, trade the way I want? So to do that, let me get to something. Let's look at a index here, something that I can pull up a few more strike prices with than a call spread. So let's say that I have my US Tech 100 and I want to see a few different strike prices here, or I want to have a few different markets set up at the same time, and I want to be watching these markets all the time. Now on the old platform, you just kind of click your market, it pops that deal ticket out. Here, obviously the deal ticket, if I click something else, that deal ticket goes away. I can no longer see the 105.83 strike, for example. But if I want to tear off this ticket, I can do that, and you're going to see a new little box comes up. So let's say I'm the kind of person that I like trading the Tech 100. I like trading, I don't know, let's say the FTSE, and I like trading the, I don't know, let's pick a commodity, right? Gold. So those are my three contracts I like trading. Looks like we don't have anyone populating the demo contracts right now. Okay, nat gas. So let's say that these are the three contracts I like trading. I like watching these all the time. If I want, I can just have these. Let's bring these up here so I can find them. So now I can actually go set up these tickets as I want them, and especially if I have a second screen, which I actually do on the side, but you guys won't be able to see it. But I can kind of just set up my tickets like this, and so now I can watch my tickets. I can easily get in, get out of the contracts that I want. If I'm waiting for a certain price point, if I'm waiting just to see something in the market, I can easily get in, get out, and you can see I have my three different markets up here. If I want to go back and let's say I don't want the 1920 strike in that gas, I can click this price ladder. So I am going to be able to see the different expirations and the different strike prices all from within these tear off tickets. And now let's say that instead of tearing the tickets off, I want to have multiple charts up. You can do that as well. So you can either click this tear off chart button here, and that's going to tear the chart off. It's going to take a second to load, but got that nice spinning wheel there so that I can tear the chart off that way, or I can go back. Oops. And I can switch over from the ticket to the chart like this. I can have both the ticket and the chart up. I can have just the chart up, just the ticket up. So these little pop-out boxes, they are going to allow you to kind of customize your screen and give you the ability to set up all your trades as however you'd like. That was a very big piece of feedback we got. So hopefully this does work out for all of you that really do like having those multiple tickets, multiple charts up at the same time and watching multiple markets. Um, I am getting a question here about Apex. So those of you that use the Apex scanner, we are working with Apex right now to make sure that the scanner will still work. So the scanner does still work currently. We are trying to work with Apex to fully integrate basically that scanner in a little bit better way. I don't want to give too much information about that yet because it's still in discussions. But obviously we like working with Apex. We like their scanner. I think it offers some good features. So we are working to get that integrated a little bit more into this platform, and definitely keep your ears open and eyes open for that coming more in the future. Sorry, I'm getting another question here. Can we have multiple markets open to scan quickly, like scrolling once we open a specific time? Not sure I fully understand that question. Are you saying, so I have the multiple markets up here and I can click through the different expirations and strikes if that's what you are asking. There's going to be a way where there's chickens and charts. So yeah, so I do know that when I click this, obviously the tickets disappear behind this. So what you could do is you can minimize this, or you can go ahead and use two screens like I do. Obviously, you can't see my second screen here, but as of right now, we are trying to work out the best way to handle, how obviously the tickets do go behind the platform. For right now, I think the best way is going to be just, like I just did down here. I know they can kind of be hidden, and that's not the greatest solution. We are working with the developers to try to figure out the best way to make sure these are always displayed how you guys want them displayed. Moving on here, I'm getting a few more questions in. You move them to different screens if you have multiple screens. Yes, you can move them to different screens. The old platform, you weren't able to move them to different screens, so it is a little bit better in that regard there. Um, Yes, they should all stay open. I'm getting a question in the chat about this multiple tickets. They should all stay open. I'm not sure if I fully understand your question right now. I'm going to keep moving on through the webinar. If I didn't answer your question fully, feel free to give us a ring, and one of our customer service agents will probably be able to help you a little bit further. I'm sorry if I'm not fully understanding the question. I don't know if I or fully answering. I'm not sure if I fully understand exactly what you are asking. So moving on here, going back to the settings section. So we have the settings in the bottom left. This is going to be where you change your tolerance, your default order type, your default contract size, and your session inactivity area. So first with the tolerance, this is going to be the tolerance for your market order with protection. I'm not going to go fully into explaining what the tolerance is right now. If you would like to get a better understanding of that, you can look on our platform. But basically, this is going to be just how you change that tolerance for your market order with protection, the range in which you are going to get filled. So you have the binaries and the spreads, and actually this spreads one will actually change your knockouts tolerance as well. And coming in the next release, this box is going to say spreads and knockouts. So, but just for right now, remember that this actually will change the tolerance for both these call spreads and the knockout products. Here you have your default order type. So, I just can change this, and then I can go here, and now it's going to be a limit order. My default contract size, I usually like to keep this at 1. If you do, maybe you're someone that always likes to trade 10 lots, you can certainly do that. Just always remember that if you do that, it is going to populate your ticket in 10 lot sizes. So make sure you're always cognizant of how big that is, because definitely don't want you to accidentally enter a position that you didn't want to enter into. And then you have your session inactivity periods here. So this is going to be how long the platform can be up before it logs you out. So you have a bunch of different options here. So maybe if you are, want to check your account on like a public computer, you probably want to set this to like 1 hour. But if you're trading on your home computer where no one else is going to access it, 12 hours might be more for you. So going to be a settlement index chart. We are actually working on getting the rest of the charts. I'll go more into the charts a little bit later in the webinar, but we are working on getting all of the charts from the old platform in as well. If you aren't aware, on the old platform, you can see more like the underlying. You can see for the binaries, the actual price of the binary chart as opposed to the actual underlying chart. There's a few different options that we are working on getting that in. However, right now we do just have that default chart that you would see on the old platform when you open that charting. Going into quickly, we'll go through the My Account section, then we'll actually get more into charts. We'll get way more in depth into the charting. So the My Account section, if you pull it up here, you're going to see a few different things. So this is going to be your account overview. I quite like this new little visualization that we've built here for this, where your money is in your account, and actually so we can get a better idea of how this looks. Let's get into a further position. I'm just going to go 15 right now, just so you guys can see a little bit better. So now you can see this is actually the current position value that I have. So my position value right now is $559, just because I got into a larger position here. This larger light blue section is going to be your available to trade. So obviously I have about almost $10,000 available, this being the demo account, and then the reserved. If you can see, there's a little sliver right here that's yellow, very hard to see. But if you have, maybe a $250 account, that's going to be a little bit more visible. So it's going to give you kind of a circle visualization of where all the money is in your account. Going down, moving on, so we have the residential address. So obviously this is a demo account, so it's just kind of a random residential address. But if you do need to change that or change your contact details, you can do that here as well. This is a demo account. I will say on the live account as well, if this My Account section, that's going to be where you handle your depositing and your withdrawals. So Right underneath this personal details section, I believe there's going to be all of the information about your funding, your withdrawals, everything like that, how you know put money in and then hopefully get your money back out. Then we go down to, I touched a little bit on this, but this is going to be where the history and statements are going to go once we have finished building that new functionality. So that should be coming here fairly soon. I've been working with a lot of our developers and design people on making that a little bit better. And then again, if you would like to contact us, you can send us an email here. And once again, I just like to touch on this feedback because it is very important to us. I do, you know, if you do put something here, there is a real person. There is a real person going to read it. I get an email with all of the feedback that comes through this box every single day, as well as a couple of my teammates. We do go through all of it. I won't sit here and say that you know every single thing that you might request will make it into the final bit of the platform. That's you know just sometimes not feasible to do everything, but we do sort of take all this in, look through it, and the things that are most requested, that's how we prioritize which things we're going to build next. So again, definitely if you do have feedback for us, if there's a part you really like, or if there's a part you really hate on the new platform, let us know. You won't hurt my feelings by saying you hate something. I'd rather know that you hate it so that we can you know build it a little bit better for you. All right, so that has been the majority of the platform here. Now we're going to go over the charting. So the charts have changed just a bit. Let's pull up something with a little bit more pricing in here right now. So this 2-hour Aussie dollar contract looks good. So first of all, and let me, I'll actually show you really very quickly. If you want a larger chart on your screen, or maybe you don't want to see your deal ticker, you don't want to see your open positions right now, or the price ladder, you can hide all of these sections on the screen, right? So you can click these little double arrow buttons, and that's going to go ahead and hide everything for you, right? If you want to bring your markets back up, you can click up here. If you want to bring your positions back up, you want to click these double arrows, and you know, clicking on one of the strike lines is going to bring your deal ticket back up, right? So how do I actually navigate these charts? How do I change my candlesticks, my you know, all of basically everything that you would want to do on your charting? So there's going to be a couple ways you can do it, right? The first way that you just saw me clicking through is going to be on the top left here. This top left area is going to contain every this top left area is going to contain every you know, charting functionality, charting feature that you want to access. So you can access it from the top left. You can also, and this is actually how, when I'm trading on the demo, how I do it most, you can right click. So I just right clicked there, and it's going to give me all the options that I can get at the top, with the exception of actually the how large the candlesticks are, the candlestick interval. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word for a second. So if I go to the top left here, you can see right now it's set at 1 hour, and I can change it to, let's say I want 5-minute candles because I'm moving or trading a little bit shorter period contract. So I can change it from the top left there. Excuse me. The date range as well. So let's say I would just want to see, you know, 1 day's worth of info here. That's going to give me the last 24 hours. So I can change that in the top left. The indicators. So again, I'm going to use mostly the right click method because that's what I prefer, but these are all going to be across the top left as well. So the indicators, I'm pretty happy about how we have set up these new indicators. So there aren't really any more indicators than we have on the old platform at this point, although we are exploring some new ones. But the thing I quite like, because you know I've traded for quite a while, but there's still certain indicators that I'm not fully aware of what they do, right? That I don't use very often. So let's say I want to use the Donchian channels, and I don't really know what that is though. I can hover over this little information box, and it's going to give me a little blurb about, you know, what this indicator is, how you might use it. You know, if you are completely new to these indicators, maybe you want to do a little bit more research even outside this box, but this is going to give you just a good introduction into how these indicators work. So you can hover over every single one, and it's going to give you, you know, RSI, it's relative strength index, it's a momentum indicator, right? So this will give you a lot more information than the old platform will give you. So let's just throw RSI on for right now. If I wanted to change, so RSI generally will start with a 70-30 and over a 14 period. If I want to change the period or I want to change the overbought or oversold ranges, and if you aren't aware of what I'm talking about right now with the RSI, I definitely go do some research. I'm not going to go fully into what this indicator is in the scope of this webinar, but maybe I'll do one in the future about some indicators. But if I do want to change these, I can do this. And now I can see, oh, if I want to see, say it's overbought at 50, now this is looking a lot more overbought. So if I want to change my overbought oversold indicator, so I want to change my period, I can do that by clicking on this little box right here, and every indicator will have this box in the bottom left, and you will be able to change, your periods. If maybe you want to do an EMA and you want different moving average periods. You can change that from down there in the bottom left. Moving on, we also have the drawings. Now the drawings are also going to have this little information box. Some of these are probably not extremely useful, like an arrow. I'm assuming most of you know what an arrow is, but maybe you aren't really sure what an Elliott wave is. So this is going to give you a little bit more information about what these indicators, what these drawings are, and how to use them. Again, if I want to actually put one on, I click it here, and then this isn't really how you generally do this, but I'm just clicking around. So now I have, thrown my Elliott wave on here. Again, that's probably not how you actually want to set that up in reality. So I have my drawings, I have my indicators. Going down here to the next section, actually very quickly, I will show you. You can click this Show Drawing toolbar. This little toolbar, if you would like to put that on, this is going to allow you to, draw other things. So if I want my ovals, it's going to allow you to draw a bit quicker. I usually just generally don't have this on because I think it's a little busy, but if you really like your drawings, you could snap that drawing toolbar down to the bottom left as well. If I also want to quickly, I don't like my drawings anymore, I want to delete them all, easily I can do delete all drawings, and then I can undo that if I want to. For right now, I'm just going to delete my beautiful, beautiful drawings that I've put on this chart. Okay, so moving on to the next section here. Actually, let me check my. We are having a request for Connor's RSI. I will have to look into that one. We are always looking at new indicators and exactly which ones we offer. And hopefully, if you would like some new indicators, we can get it on there. Definitely put that in the feedback section, and we will try to get it in if it's a requested item. Moving on here, we have our different candlestick types. So, or sorry, different charting types more accurately. So the first one is the candlestick. It's the one you all know and love, your basic candlestick charts. We also have our line, HLOC, and mountain. These are going to be familiar to those of you that use our old platform. These are the candlestick, line, HLOCs. That's going to be high, low, open, close, and your mountain charts. Depending, again, I'm not going to go fully into what each of these are, but they should look pretty familiar from the old platform. We do have a new candlestick type on the new platform, on the new charts, and that's going to be the Heiken Ashi candles. Again, not going to go fully into what these are. Very very basically, they use more of an average to actually create those candlesticks, the open, close, high, and low values. So you can kind of see if I change it from my traditional candlesticks to the Heiken Ashi, it sort of smooths that out a little bit, right? So it's a little bit more jagged here, and it's a little bit smoother here as well. We actually are currently working on getting a blog up on the site that will educate you a little bit more on those Heiken Ashi candles. In the meantime, currently we don't have that on there. So in the meantime, a quick Google will be your friend if you would like to use those and find out a little bit more about them. But I am working with some of our copywriters to help get those Heiken Ashi candles or Heiken Ashi blog on our site so you can get a little bit better information about that. Moving on here again, we can go down to our price. So this is going to change the candlesticks and really the charting values. It's going to change whether it shows you the ask price, the bid price, the mid, or the last traded. If you aren't aware really of what these do, I would highly recommend that you just leave it at the mid. The mid will be the best price or the most accurate price when it comes down to the actual settlement of our contract and the actual where the underlying is trading. If you are if you do want to see basically what the ask price or what the bid price is, so you can see how it's changing the candlesticks a little bit because now it's based on the ask, now it's based on the bid. You could certainly do that. If you aren't really sure what that's doing, I would definitely recommend just leaving that at the mid. I know I've talked to some of our traders in the past that were a little bit confused and about maybe settlement price and something that they thought should have settled in their favor but didn't, and often it was actually because they were maybe using the bid instead of the mid price, and it was something that came in very close. So I would say unless you really know what these are and you have a reason to change this, I personally just kind of leave it at the default at the mid. We also have this scale here. So this is something else new that we have on our charts. So right now it's linear. That's going to be the default. What this is going to do is, so you see on the left-hand side here, that it's actually showing me the price of the underlying, right? So these are, 0.715, 0.716, all the way up to 0.719. These are the price of the underlying market, the Aussie dollar market. If I change that to scale, or sorry, if I change that to percentage, now it's going to show me a percentage, basically a little percentage ticks over here on the right-hand side. And what that is based off, if I go and kind of go zero, you can see that it's going all the way back to this first candle here. So what this is showing, it's going to show you the percentage change that has happened since that first candle on your chart. So I do quite like this one. So maybe I'm, if I'm trading and I want to say, oh, this has actually moved up, 0.5% at this point, I can get a little bit better visual representation by changing this to a percent rather than a linear value or linear scale value. I'm just going to go back to the default right now, so change that back to linear. Moving on a little bit more, so the show values here, this is just going to show you, whether you want to see the what is actually showing on your chart. So this HLOC data, so see down here, all of this data about the high, low, the most recent candlestick. If I don't want to see that, I can click there and, oh no, sorry, the HLOC is the one that goes on my cursor. So let's show that again. So see how these prices are kind of follow my mouse right now. If I don't want that to happen, I can click that off. The price changes, that's the one that I was showing at the bottom there, and the price line, you can change that on and off as well. Drawings and indicators as well, you can show or hide them here. You can also, and let me actually get into a position here so I can show you guys something else. So I just got into a position and now I can see, and again, this is a visual representation of what's actually happening in this contract. And let me get in to a working order as well. Okay, so I have my working order and I have my open position, right? So I can see them down here in this panel, or I can see them on the chart itself, right? So this is my current position, my current open position. You can see the current open position is always going to be either red or blue. If I was currently, if I was currently making money on this contract, this would actually be blue, but right now it is red because I'm currently trading at a loss. You can see I also have my +1, so this means I have one buy side and greater than above, 0.7168. So that's going to be my strike price there. For the open positions, it's going to be showed, visualized in a gray box, and then it's also going to show, this is my +1 greater than 0.718. So again, this is my buy side. I can see that by a plus, and if I was working order on a sell side, that would be minus. If I want to hide those, I can go here to this show section. I can hide or see my working orders and my open positions and this timeline across the bottom. Now you may be seeing that there's also these little letters next to these buttons here, and so those are actually hotkeys. So we do have a few hotkeys on the charts here. So if I hit P is going to show or hide my open position. So I'm just hitting that on my keyboard right now. O is going to show or hide my working orders on the charts, and T is going to show or hide my timeline. So if you do like to show or hide that often, you can certainly go ahead and use those hotkeys. They are a little bit I will say I use them now a lot. At first, I couldn't quite always remember what the exact hotkeys were, but if you are, forgetting them, remember they are actually shown here on, the P, O, and T here. The other hotkeys that we do have, if you start typing a number in, you can actually change the candlestick interval. So let's say I want my 1 minute candles. I can start typing in here. I do not know why that is not working right now. Let's see. Oh, you know what? My number lock, my number lock was not on. That's why that wasn't working. So if I type in 5, you can see this interval box pop up here. So it's going to default to minutes, but I can type in 5 and hit enter. Now I have my 5-minute candlesticks. I can type in 4, and we have 4 hours here. So I can type in 4H. That's going to give me that. You can, again, if you aren't familiar with what these intervals are, if you can't remember them, it will show you right here. So again, one other thing to kind of remember, if I start typing in 1, this is going to default to 1 minute, but if I put in H, I have my hour, or D, I have my day, 1 day candlesticks. So let's go back again so I can see a little bit better. Let's do 5 minutes again. So just the little hotkeys there that will help you navigate around the platform, hopefully a little bit quicker. Going on again to our layout. So this is something that we did have on the old platform as well. If you have a certain layout that you quite like, let's say I have a certain drawing and indicators that I always use, I can save my layout. So let's say this is Adam's cool layout. And I can hit save there. So now if I actually want to apply that to a, let's say a different chart, let's take off this RSI and let's go to, we've done a lot of Aussie pairs. Let's do a dollar yen pair here. Let's go here. Now, if I want to put that indicator on and those drawings back on, I can go to my layouts, I can apply, and I can do Adam's cool layout. And there we go, there's my RSI. And this is actually the default RSI values, but if I had, changed them like I was showing you earlier, the layout would actually remember that as well. So you can easily apply different trading layouts. If there's a certain indicator, there's certain, maybe a certain pairing of indicators that you'd like to use often on the charts, you can definitely save those and apply those a little bit quicker each time. If I don't like Adam's cool layout anymore, or maybe I have just a ton sitting in here, you can see Adam's great, Adam's awesome. Adam's cool layout, so I can go ahead and delete that if I don't like that anymore. And now it is not here anymore. It's not an option any longer. So that's going to be how you apply your layouts. Going on here, customizing your appearance. So this is just going to allow you to change the colors of your candlesticks or of the different types of charting that you have here. So right now I have the default ones which are red and green, but let's say that I love yellow and purple. Let's go Tigers, LSU. Let's say I have my yellow and purple there, and this is really how I like to see my rising and falling candlesticks. So I can certainly change that. Also, that grid on the back, see how that's coming on and off, and I can change that to a blue color. Wow, my chart is looking quite garish right now. And I can also hit or hide this show watermark. And you can't actually see this, so let me show you real quick what this watermark is. It's just going to say, your dollar yen pair. So it's going to tell you, what pair you are actually trading. And if you are going to something, let's say a commodity that is going to have that the underlying actually has a, excuse me, that the underlying has like a rollover month. So this is going to tell you when that contract rolls over. So that if you do want to look at the underlying chart, you know that it is the July gold contract that is the underlying for this gold product. And actually, it looks like this didn't fully roll yet. So that is, I know why that is. It's actually because I think we're in the middle of a roll week. Anyway, so if I want to take all of that off, I can go and let's say I don't like to look at this chart because it is actually quite busy right now. I can reset that to my defaults, and there we go. The watermark's off. It's back to red and green. Then finally, the last thing on this little, my right click area here is going to be export chart. I quite like this for a couple reasons. First, if there is, maybe something that I see on a chart and I think, oh, that's a cool pattern, I want to go back and maybe analyze that pattern, analyze that history a little bit more in the future, I can click this export chart button. That's going to pop up an image in the bottom left, and I can actually open that, and there's my beautiful chart that I have set up with my RSI, with everything, and it'll tell me, my gold and my 5-minute candles, right? The other thing, if you are, let's say that you're calling into our customer service line and you're seeing something that you don't understand or you don't think is right, often our customer service reps will maybe ask for a picture so they can understand a little bit better what you're talking about. If you do this, if you go export chart, you will be able to send them, as long as it's within the chart, you can kind of shoot them over a clean image very easily, so that we can kind of get to the bottom of whatever issue or whatever question that you do have. So that's the rest of everything that comes up if you hit that right click button on the chart itself. There are a couple more buttons on the top left of the chart here, and I'll just really quickly go over these as well. And then this will be the last thing really I'll be going over, and then we'll take some questions at the end. So I can zoom in or zoom out of my chart by clicking these buttons, but many of you have seen me kind of doing that without clicking those buttons as well. That's actually because I have a mouse and I am scrolling in and out on that mouse. The other kind of cool thing, so see how I scroll in and out, and it's keeping the entire range of the chart inside when I scroll, right? So basically what I mean is, as you can see, as I scroll out and we have this, it's dipping down a lot lower in this gold market, the chart is resizing to actually give me the entire history of what I'm looking at here. If I do this, right, if I kind of pull away, so I can pull up and down on the chart, and then I scroll in and out, it's not gonna actually scroll out and show me the entire chart, right? It's not going to zoom out. The way I can get that back, if you press this button here, this is going to take you to the latest price. And now as I scroll in and out again, it's going to kind of move and zoom the chart in and out so I can see the entire market. I'm hoping that makes sense. It's a sort of hard to describe just by sitting here and talking through it. But if you do want it to kind of scroll in and out with you, just always remember that if you click off, if you kind of pull this up, it won't do that anymore. Or maybe you're all the way up here and you can't find your chart anymore, you're lost. You can hit this latest price. That's going to bring you back, and it's going to re-enable sort of that auto scrolling feature. So that is really going to be the entirety of a lot of the new features, or everything I wanted to go over for this new platform here today. If any of you have any other questions, I'll leave this rolling for a second just to try to answer any. If you have any comments, concerns, again, you can put them in the chat and I'll try to answer them quickly. And if you do have any questions, comments, concerns after this webinar is over, I will again pull up on my screen the excuse me, I will pull up on my screen the presentation here so you can see our customer service line. So let me go back here. Oh no, how do I go back? There we go. So if you do have any questions that I didn't answer in this webinar, definitely go ahead, give our customer service line a call or shoot them an email. I personally know all of our customer service agents. They're all great at what they do and they're very knowledgeable, so they will be able to help you out with any questions that you have. And again, one last little throwing it in there. Please give us feedback. Please go to that feedback section and let us know what you'd like to see on the new platform, because again, we do read it and we are trying to build this new platform to be the best platform for all of you so that you can all trade effectively. I am not seeing any more questions coming in here right now. Just one last reminder that this platform will be going away, or sorry, the old platform will be going away eventually. That's going to be in November time, and we don't have a set date for that, and we will communicate that date to you far in advance once we know the exact date. And we will not get off the old platform before we have everything you need to trade in the new one as well. So that's going to bring us to the end of the webinar here. Again, if you do have any more questions that I didn't answer, feel free to reach out to us, give us your feedback. And other than that, just make sure all of you out there are staying safe, and I'm wishing you the best of luck in your trades. Have a great rest of your day, everyone.